I'm not usually one to say I told you so, but about 2 years ago, I did a video here on the channel about why I never recommend MailChimp to new clients and why I often encourage clients who are already using it to find something else. And in a recent policy change that MailChimp just sent out a couple of weeks ago, they seem to be proving my hunch right. So before we dive into this, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and ring that little notification bell so that you never miss a tutorial or upload. Okay, so what policy change am I talking about? So they announced that on June 1st of 2025, they're going to be discontinuing their classic automation builder. Well, what does this mean? Why do we care? Okay, let's get into that. So the classic automation builder is exactly what it sounds like. It's their legacy way that users can build. I guess Puffin likes the microphone. The classic automation builder is the legacy way that users can build automations for their emails. It was a little clunky if you ask me, but it was kind of more, like the original early 2000s way of setting up that kind of drag and drop automation. Years ago, they moved to more of like an automation map version, their newer automation. It's definitely better, but it was never offered to free users. Free users were kind of stuck with that classic automation builder and also stuck with only being able to automate one email at a time. And I think I mentioned this in the last video and how, you had to get really creative in order to send out like any kind of funnel if you were in their free plan. And, their free plan is something that they have talked about a lot as like a reason for people to come in and use MailChimp because look at how many contacts you get in the free plan. Yeah, okay, true. But if you can't automate the emails, like what is the point even, in my opinion? So I think this is a really bad move on their part because, I know that they're leaning into a lot of other capabilities. And so maybe they don't see email automation or maybe they don't even see free users as a worthy cause within the company anymore. You're always going to have those users that never really exceed that free tier as far as how many contacts they have. But does that mean they should be punished and not have any level of automation at all? I don't think so. And I think what that means to me is that MailChimp is trying to move away from more of that solo or small business user. And they definitely seem to be leaning more towards either bigger companies or the corporate side of things. And I mean, okay, that's fine if that's what they're looking for, but what does that mean for you as a solo or small business owner? Well, number one, it means that even your existing automations in the Classic Builder are just going to stop working in June. Anybody who was already in a workflow, which is kind of impossible being that it's only one email at that free level, but let's say somehow somebody's already triggered and they're in like a waiting period before that email goes out, they won't get it after June 1st. And they won't, if they fill out a form that you have set up, they won't get dropped into that workflow. It's just going to stop working. You'll have archived reports and things like that. You'll be able to see them, but you won't be able to edit them. You won't be able to do anything with them, and they won't do anything for you. So what are your options at this point? Well, you're really only left with one basic option. You're going to have to upgrade or you're going to have to leave. So if you choose to upgrade MailChimp, you're obviously going to have to learn the new builder, which if you leave and go to another tool, you're going to have to do that anyway. So that's not really a detractor in this situation. But what about the pricing for MailChimp? Does that mean that because they are moving everything out of the free plans that their paid plans are super affordable? They're not horrible, but they are certainly not the cheapest. And my experience with MailChimp has never been that its interface was super intuitive, meaning it was hard for me to find things even if I'd already been in that thing before. It was very hard for me to find it again. And technology and software is something that I feel like I'm good at. So if you don't feel super comfortable in tools like that, it's going to be a difficult tool to get around in. So, but let's look at the pricing. So for 500 contacts in MailChimp for that paid plan so that you get access to automation, you're going to be spending about $13 a month. That's not a huge number, but if you're not using your email marketing at this point as a moneymaker for yourself in some way, whether you have some good funnels set up, which if you've been in the free plan, you couldn't even really effectively set up a funnel anyway, then $13 a month might be not worth it. You might not have enough return on that investment at this point. So then your other option is to switch to a different platform, right? And this is personally my recommendation because I think MailChimp for the, like I said, solo and small business user is just not, it's not the direction they seem to be going in. So I think it makes more sense for you to move in another direction, go to a company that is geared more towards that type of user. So the two options that I typically recommend, and I'm just going to disclaimer right now, yes, these are affiliate links, but the reason that they are affiliates for me is because they're good, because I like them. So if you do decide to go with one of these and you end up in one of their paid plans eventually, because they do both have a pretty decent free tier, then yes, I will get a little commission off of that, but it won't cost you anything extra. And it's a great way for you to support the channel. So the first option that I would recommend is the one that I use right now, which is called Kit. It used to be called ConvertKit, so you may know it by that name, but now it's just called Kit. And in that one, like I said, there is a pretty decent free level. I believe that the main limitation within that free level, obviously, is there's a number of contacts area where you would get pushed into a paid plan. But also it's some of the functionality. I think that you don't get access to all levels of their automation builder. And then they're also limited as far as how many emails that you can send out in a month period. But if you have a small list, which would be expected if you are still within that free tier contacts wise, then you're not super likely to exceed the number of emails that you can send in a month. And you do still get access to automation tools and things like that. There's just a couple of kind of advanced or enhanced automation things that you don't get access to in their free plan. But when you do decide that you want to upgrade, that first level is the creator plan. It's the one that I'm still in right now. And if you have 300 contacts or less and you pay annually, which for a platform like this, I would recommend because you don't want to be jumping around from platform to platform within the same year when it comes to your email marketing, because you need to give it some time to work, right? Time to set it all up and get things flowing. So 300 contacts or less and you pay for the year, you're paying $6.30 a month basically for that plan. And then you get access to a whole lot of those other features that I was talking about. And Kit is great specifically for content creators. If you're a YouTuber or podcaster, or you send out some sort of paid newsletter, anything like that, it's great for creators. It's also great because they offer a lot of ways inside of Kit that you can earn money, including paid recommendations with other newsletters and things like that. So not only does that help you grow your list, but you can earn a little bit of cash that way as well. They also have really nice design tools that, to be fair, have a bit of a learning curve at first, but once you learn how they work, they're actually really nice. And they have a lot of great apps with third parties to make your process so much more seamless. Specifically, I want to call out their brand new Canva app. It's awesome, and I'm probably going to be doing a video on that in the coming weeks just to show you. It's super easy, but just to show you how impactful it can be on your process. So that's the first option. The second option that I typically recommend is MailerLite, and I've been recommending this one for a while. I used it myself for a period of time, and then I decided to migrate away from it. But I still have my husband in there. He's an author, and he's got a newsletter. And so he's still using MailerLite. They have a great free version as well. You have a little bit of limitation there. You do get access to some automation and things like that. You don't get access to all of their email templates and things. So it can be a little bit limiting on the design side in that respect. For MailerLite, if you do upgrade to one of their paid plans, you get 500 contacts for $9 a month. Also better than the 13, not quite as good as the 630. So it really just depends on where your priorities lie as far as if your budget is the most important thing or if the features you get access to are the most important thing. But MailerLite is great for traditional email marketing and, basic sales funnels. It has a simple interface and it is great for beginners. So now I want to hear from you guys. What other tool besides MailChimp do you love for your email marketing? Let me know in the comments. The online tools for your business do not need to be complicated and overwhelming. It's time to let it be easy. I hope you liked that video, and more importantly, that you found it helpful. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel and sharing it with a fellow solopreneur. And make sure you check out the description for links to how we can connect and maybe even work together.